What's up, everybody? If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell. Also hit the like button. Today we're going to replace the factory Axial SCX24 servo and upgrade it with the EMAX ES08MAII all metal gear micro servo. So let's get started. We should have some horns, which not going to use. We'll use this one. Not going to use. A couple screws. All right. And more screws, 2 black screws, and your metal gear servo and metal gears inside. I'll show you how to take care of this really long cable, but we'll do that when we get there. So the small Allen that comes in your kit, make sure you keep it unless you have it. I'm not sure what size it is. I think it might be a 0.5 or a 1. I'm not sure. It's really small though. And I've had trouble finding them in a decent set, so I'm just using the one out of the box. First thing we're gonna do is unplug the servo, which is, if you look on your receiver, STR is for your steering. Pull that out. We're good to go. So that's freed up. Take your small Allen, undo this linkage. Only this one side. Let that be free. So next, the top shock mounts. Remove those from their mounting spot. All right, to the other side. Now, this should help get it out of the way for you. Easy access. So, take these 2 servo mount screws loose. And it's that simple. All right, let's move on to the next. All right, so next we can leave this on because we're not using any of this, but we need to take this arm off right here. So here in this part, you're gonna need some cutters, or you could maybe use a Dremel or something, but all we're gonna do, so we're taking this, because these holes line up perfect, one of these do. So we're gonna cut these off, so we only have one. All right, just like that. Perfect. You can clean these up if you wish. And all right, next thing we're gonna do. So for clearance, so make sure your orientation of your servo is in the correct order. So it would sit like this to the right. I'll show you on this car. See this right here, just off to the right. So it doesn't go like that. It goes like that. So make sure you have that right, because we're gonna trim these top edges. Not too close to the hole so it doesn't, you don't want to go through that, but leave just enough room. And this is going to give you clearance on your frame rails so you can flex and not bind up, because they do hit just a little bit. All right, that should be good. And you can clean those up if you wish. We'll move on to the next part. Next, what we're going to do is center the servo. Look for STR. We will plug that into its slot. Turn your transmitter on. Turn your receiver on. and go to your transmitter and make sure you're set on 0. Set it on 0. Make sure you're not over here. Put it on 0. So now your servo is centered. So when you go to put this on, you're going to be straight, right where you need to be. Now you can shut your receiver off, transmitter off, and that part's done. So now we can move forward onto the next. So next we're going to shorten up this really long cable. That's way too long. But so grab a pen, pencil, it doesn't matter, a stick, whatever you want to use. This is just something I had next to me, so we're going to use that. And you can just start by wrapping it around.
Nice and tight. Open it up.
So there you go. It should look like this. Now the trick, take a lighter. We're just going to heat it up a little bit. You don't have to go crazy. Do all the sides of it. This will help hold it in its place so it won't just really unwind. And there you go, just like that. Boom. Next we're gonna install the steering link onto the servo horn, and we're gonna do that so the face of it, it's gonna go on the back lower one. So that's where we're gonna put it. We're gonna do this first because it makes it a whole lot easier. There we go. So next we're gonna mount the servo horn to the servo. Now your servo was centered as long as you didn't like twist it any crazy directions with everything off, but it should be centered because we did that earlier. We're gonna put this on the right side, and the horn is gonna go as straight down as it can possibly go. If it's off a little, you can adjust this on your transmitter later, but as long as you have your servo centered, then you'll have the adjustment that you need later. And the black screw included, if you got this servo, should fit right in like this, and then we'll screw that on and move to the next. All right, now that we got the servo horn on and the linkage, which make sure you get this on before you install it, because you're not getting that piece on after it's installed. So do yourself the favor and do it now. We're going to install a servo. It's going to be a little tight in the factory tray, unless you get an aftermarket one. That's up to you, but this still works. It's a little tight, but it's not a big deal. So, all right, let's see. It will fit in like that. That's it. There's going to be a little gap right there. Hopefully you can see that. Right in there, that gap, that's fine. It's not a big deal. It's not a crazy big, powerful car. It's not going to move once you get the screws in. And we're going to take the screws that were in the set of the servo box, and we're going to put those in. They're kind of self-tapping screws, so we're going to use those because you can't use the ones that originally came out. And this lines right up, and get it just to where it's snug on the arm. Don't crank it down because you'll break the arm off. Like I said, it's okay to have that gap. It's well secured. You'll see when you're doing it. and you should be good. Because this, a lot of people will trim these edges out. You don't have to do that. This clears perfectly fine. So your stock servo, you know, it's fine. It's not a big deal. This is actually ready to go back together. So make sure you get your drive shaft back in place, because when you lift it, separate the chassis, it also separates the drive shaft. We're going to do the servo arm. All right, we got that done. All right, next we're going to install the upper shock mounts, get those back mounted up. All right, now that we got everything installed, we got the linkage hooked up. That's all good and floppy like the stock linkage should be, which is horrible. That'll be a next upgrade. Fix, you can put little rubber O-rings in there, which I have, but I decided to hold off on that right now. Reinstall the top shock bolts, get the frame back down. Don't forget your drive shaft, because it'll probably come out when you drop it, and separate the chassis. Power on your transmitter, power on your receiver. Way better. Oh my God. So then you'll just want to fine tune your steering. If it's off, you can do your tracking and all that, you know, pretty easy, right on your controller, if you don't already know how to do that. But that's why we center the servo before, so everything's kind of, you have a base to start with. The stock, big difference. This is so smooth and stronger. And then the stock, real choppy, and it's just is weak. That just powers through it. Nice little upgrade, easy to do, not a big deal. Cheap and easy upgrade. Well worth it. Even if it's your very first time ever doing it, it's easy to do. Just get something to cut for the clearance, because you can see chassis clears. These little plastic bits right here, they might hit the head of the screw, but you can just take a little sandpaper and sand that, and then you're good. It's all good. All right, guys, so my final thought on the Axial SCX24 for a first upgrade, that would definitely be the first upgrade I would do, which obviously I did. Next I'll be doing, this is my wife's, so I'll do hers. It's super easy. It's not difficult at all. Some things are a little finicky, but I mean, it's not a big deal. It's quick. Even just going through this video to try to help some of you guys out, it didn't even take that long. So doing this on your own, going straight into it, I mean, it maybe max might take you 20 minutes, if that. You know, just have your couple of tools laid aside and you'll be good to go. So if you like this video, if you have any comments or suggestions, leave them below. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I enjoy doing this stuff, and I'm into anything RC, so it could be crawlers, it could be bashers, it could be whatever. I mean, I like it all, so hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.